Hello, Dr. Jeff Phillips here, trombone professor at Belmont University. And I'm looking at the 9th and 10th grade mid-state band trombone audition excerpt, which is almost a little more difficult than the 11th and 12th, at least in my opinion. But anyway, I'm going to look at that not just from saying, hey, here's how this goes, mimic everything I do, but just to let you get some things at this stage of the game, early, mid-September, that you might do wrong and that you might think about as you prepare this excerpt. Just right off the bat, please pay attention to the key signature. I've heard this from behind the cardboard screens many a times. In the key that is not written, that will not get you a place in the band. So make sure you've looked at the key signature. There's not one. The accidentals are all by the notes, and they go through the measure. So we know that stuff. I've heard this wrong so much. Okay. So this is a great excerpt because of the key to utilize D's in a flat fourth position. They're not exactly fourth position, exactly where you play the G. So just make a slight adjustment. I want that to be out a little bit instead of. And you don't need to come back into first for it. You really don't. Instead of. It's extra work. It increases your chances of splitting a note. So learn where it is in fourth. I said it on the 11th, 12th grade video. Said, I don't like alternate positions. They're out of tune. They're not out of tune. You are. So listen, learn where it is on your horn, and utilize it. It's not difficult. In fact, a lot of cases it's going to make things easier for you. Well, I'm stopped. You've probably also heard a thing, band directors love to say this. I can say that because I was one for 34 years. Exaggerate your dynamics. Yes, but not to the point of insanity and hurting people. I've heard this from behind the cardboard. That's ugly. Don't do that, okay? Just a subtle crescendo with a little taste will be fine. Tempo, it says meno. What does that mean? But allegro moderato. So it's not super duper fast. Think before you ever start it, how fast can I comfortably play the 16th note passages? So what you don't want is this. I'm going to start in the second measure. Yeah. I've heard that before. Okay. How fast can you play 16th notes? That determines how fast you start. Okay. D da 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 da. If that's it, then you start there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. But think that before you begin. Don't just start at a tempo and then hope for the best when you get to especially to the third line, because that can be a bear, or the last line. You're playing along through here. Watch your accidental, especially the end of the line 1, as you play B flat and B natural. Oh, that was bad. Should look ahead. There's another place where if I'd been paying attention, I would have played the D in fourth position like I did the second time instead of doing whatever that mess was that I did, and I apologize for that. Another thing. So yeah, D in fourth position, beginning of line 2. SF, sforzando. After a crescendo. But don't get obnoxious. Oh. We've heard that before. Don't do that. Just a little more articulation. And you might even slur it, as long as you push a little air there, but you don't have to hurt anybody, especially the people that are judging you. They don't like that. You need to be able to articulate very lightly, not super duper short, staccato, light, not necessarily short, just a mindset. So, no. Light articulation. Again, accents at the end of the second line with taste, but not overdone. Yeah. G sharp. In some countries, it is known as a flat. This is not that country. So, G sharp. Realize what that is. It's not a natural. You should know that. You're trying out for mid-state. Don't neglect the grace note in the line 3. It's before the D in first position. I'll play that one in, and I'll show you why. But it's before beat 4. So play E in second, and then just natural slur into D. It's written under a slur, so right? But sort of articulate the E, come right into D, and it'll just pop right in there. Okay? Again, light articulation on staccatos, but especially look at line 3, measure 2. Dia da da dia da da da. Okay? That those are nice and precise. Okay? Dia da da dia da da da. You don't want to hear don't do that, or they're not all articulated. Dia da da dia da da da. And then you have accents over the next 8th notes. Just a little weight. Maybe you think I'm a little longer because you've been playing light 8th notes. So a little less light. Allargando. A slight slow down right there. Okay? Don't get carried away with it. Taste. A little spice. Not... Okay. And then you go back to the original tempo. And this is another reason, because this has a few more tricky passages in it as I look at this. So you don't want to start it too fast. You know, how fast can I play this last line? That'll be fun for right now. But how fast can I play that? It determines how fast I start. So, by the way, that's a B natural. You hear how that was? This is not a B flat. Let me play it wrong. I've heard it before from behind the cardboard. We don't like that. The utilization of the D in a flat fourth, not the same place exactly as your B natural. See a little bit of movement in the slide? Just a little movement there. G sharp, and it goes through the measure, the second measure of the odd tempo. I've heard it before, it ain't right, okay? And then, yeah. Interpretation. If you do a slight ritardando there, stylistically, I would like that. Don't overdo it. Also realize that you have D sharp, E flat, and you have F sharp, A sharp. You're already in 5th position for F sharp, so a sharp 5th, will give you a B flat or an A sharp there. Which is a whole lot easier than extra work. And then you have E sharp. In some places that is known as an F, so chromatic. Then the phrase starts over with a little 16th light variation. Last measure of the next to last line. Last note, G sharp, G sharp, G sharp. Heard it played as G natural a bazillion times. Wrong. Mm-mm. That one's even written in right there. G sharp right there. It's really small. It's kind of crooked because of the copy. But G sharps, they go through the measure. And da 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 da. Da. Make sure you play the last little lick there rhythmically accurate. To a 3. I've also heard some folks just really dig in as they get lower right there on the end. Kind of like this. I personally find that obnoxious. I would not want to hear someone do that. Okay, so those are all my little before you start really perfecting this, tips to get you started. Work on light articulation. Find your D's in 4. Line those up, and even that A sharp in B flat in 5th. Find those notes. Don't just sit there with the tuner in front of you and try to tune every note that way. Listen to the note that comes before it and the note that comes after it. You have 2 of these, I hope, unless you're Van Gogh. And so use them, listen, and adjust as needed. Key thing on this etude, it's got a lot of stuff in there, a lot of stuff that's easy to miss, but make sure you don't start it any faster than you can play the last line or the 3rd line. Another little hint is to practice slowly from the get-go. So if your max tempo in that last line is da 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 dee da, well then that's where you're going to start it. Because I've got to get to the last line and go. Because if you start playing the first line fast, and then when you slow down when you have trouble with sections, that's going to get ingrained in your head, and you're going to do it like that for real. You'll start out and go. So you're going here. Oh, then you get to the last line. Let's see where I'll start. Oh, I've heard that before. Or, even better. Norbato. Okay, so those are my helpful hints for the 9th and 10th grade mid-state trombone audition as you prepare this. Also, be on the lookout, especially from some of my colleagues. They'll put out videos a little bit later, and I might if I get in the mood, but I just ran this off this afternoon. I would want to play through it more than I just have before I prepare it for you for real. But anyway, yeah. So look for those either from me or from somebody else later on, and so you do have an idea of how the whole thing goes. Those are just some things as you start working through it, picking out the little parts. Hopefully, it will get you a little ahead of the game. Happy practicing.